Good morning and welcome to yet another beautiful edition of Good Morning Anambra. Today is Valentine's Day and as you can see me, I'm all dressed up for the day and I would just want to welcome you and say happy Valentine's to you wherever you are watching us from this beautiful morning. This is to let you know that we are about to start our breakfast TV show this morning, which is called Good Morning Anambra, and we're starting with the programs trending on the EBS website and all the national dailies. And in the studio we have guests with us who will be our reviewers for the day, but we are going to take a short break now. When we come back, you meet our reviewers and then we go straight into discussion. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to the show this morning, and we have guests with us right seated here in the studio. We have the first person as Joy Mbachi. Joy Mbachi is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Joy. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Good to have you too.
And we also have Osta as he's also a public affairs analyst. Osta, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy Val viewers.
Okay. Quickly, let's start the show this morning with the stories are trending in the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Daily Sun, the banner headline there says, INEC excludes 240 polling units from voting. Nigerians to cast vote in 176,600 polling units. Voters to get SMS to no polling unit. And then Rivers purchase of Kidney Island. OML 11 irreversible, court tells SPDC. IGP accuses Oduduwa Nation agitators, IPOB, of election disruption plot. And we also have a family of 5 die in Lagos Badagry Expressway auto crash. Court decides bail application of Ali Bello, 3 orders today. Polls attacking non-indigent orders in Lagos. Other state won't help APC. This is coming from the PDP presidential candidate Atiku. Stand up for your right to resist intimidation, Ohaneze tells Igbo electorate. Obi meets OPC leaders, others affirms commitment to restructuring. Fani Kayode to DSS, I goofed on coup allegation. And then CSO continue protest against EFCC chair in Lagos. Insecurity, elections will hold in Southeast, orders, pledges CDS. All right, and then we still have police to monitor transport unions, Amoteku, Ebubago, and others. These are the stories trending the front page of the Daily Sun this morning. Let's start with you, Joy.
Yeah, good morning once again. My interest is really on the INEC excludes 240 polling units, and I don't know why this will happen at this time. I understand that their reason is that there is no registered voters at those polling units, and I kept on wondering during the process of voter registration and all that, what happened that INEC did not get to see that those areas were not captured.
Captured, yes.
So which means that they have made citizens in those areas who really wants to decide who will be their leaders, not to take active part in what is February 25th and March 11th election. I don't think that's a very good one for the INEC. And I think that they should really have a rethink and know what to do. Either to take them to another center for them to take active parts in this election, because this election is very, very key to Nigerian development. It won't be any good for anybody to be excluded for any reason not to take part in this election.
Okay, Oscar.
Yeah, IGP accusing Oduduwa Nation agitators and IPOB of election disruption plot. Well, I remember I've heard in several quarters certain individuals saying that there's been a call for sit-at-home in the Southeast from the 24th through to the day we'll have the last election, and that's quite alarming, because it goes to show that if care is not taken, there might be high level of voter apathy in this part of the country. And that's one thing the Southeasterners don't need, so that it won't be that after the elections, we'll be saying that we've been disenfranchised, which used to be the case. So there's a need for security agencies and for the state executives of the various Southeastern states to carry out operations that will give that reassurance to the electorate in the Southeast that they are safe to come out on the D-days and perform their duties as citizens by casting their votes. And I also want to use this medium to call out to our brothers who belong to these camps, the IPOB and the Oduduwa Nation agitators, to understand why, just like my colleague said that why this coming election is very, very pertinent in the way forward for our country. We understand that you have your own peculiar interests as individuals and as groups, but there's a need for us to allow peace to reign. Let's have a free and fair election. Let's have a smooth transition into the next administration, and then your agitation, you can continue with it if you still see need for it.
All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please reduce the volume on your television set. All right, please, if you want to call us, just reduce the volume on your television set and call us so that we can hear you from this end. Quickly, let's go over to the next paper this morning. That's the National Star newspaper with the banner headline there. Imo Taraba top list as INEC declares no election in 240 polling units in 28 states. Commission expresses concern over electoral violence. And then we still have there, under no circumstances should election be postponed, IPAC warns. Election must hold in all parts of Nigeria, CDS Irabor cautions. And then up there, no group can stop 2023 election in Southeast. This is coming from the military. New National Star holds monthly breakfast meeting Wednesday. Okay, DSS arrest and freeze Fani Kayode over alleged coup threat. Insurgents kill 2,295 teachers, destroy 1,500 schools in Northeast. NCDC. Labour Party rejects distribution of election materials by Olumo Union. And there we still have the I'm backing Tinubu 100%. This is coming from the President Muhammadu Buhari. AFDB forecasts a stable outlook of Nigeria's economy and others. Okay, these are the stories that we have in the front page of the National Star newspaper. I think we should start with the story of Labour Party rejecting distribution of election materials by Olumo Group.
Yeah, I think this issue of, in the first place I was asking, who is this Olumo Union and all that? That was once I saw it, yes. My mind came up to something. Honestly, I want to appeal to Nigerians and to the federal government. We need to be sincere in what we are doing. I don't know why an individual or group of people should be made to take charge, something that is very sensitive. We know who this man is, or the union, what they stand for. I don't think it's fair to all concerned. So INEC should try to be fair in all their dealings. They should be able to get experts, people who do not have any attachment to any political party. They should be engaged in this distribution so that everybody will have the feeling of a fair ground to take part, in this upcoming election. So giving it to a particular set of persons that we know have an attachment to a candidate, I don't think is very correct. It needs to be addressed properly now that the issue has been raised. We need more light to be thrown to this issue. Who is this union? Who are they working for? Are they working for the people of Nigeria, or are they working for a particular candidate? We want to know. We want anything that will give us peace and make this election very peaceful. We don't want war. We don't want bloodletting of any type. So anything that will make us think that INEC is not fair to all concerned, I think we will stand to say no to that. And I believe that is why Labour Party is agitating, because they must have gotten deep information. We want everything concerning this 2023 election to be fair. That nobody will say, I didn't win because this happened or that. Nigerians should be allowed to make decisions who rules them.
All right. Yesterday, it was rumored that Femi Fani-Kayode was arrested by the DSS, and a lot of people were saying a lot of things. We know how active he's been on social media, and we know how he's been, would I say, careless with words, trying to defend his principle and trying to denigrate other people, candidates from other parties. So I understand probably must have made a careless statement that implied that maybe there was a threat to conduct Q,
yes.
And he was invited by the DSS. So this goes to show that there's a need for us. We need to learn a lesson from Femi Fani-Kayode. Even while you're defending your principle, we need to be more conservative with words. We need to be more conscious of the kind of words we use on social media, because social media does not forget. You must not agree with me, but you need to be polite with the way you show your disagreement. Everybody must not agree, right? So let's be more conscious of the way we use words. Because you go on social media, you find how people, pummel one another over who's their candidate, who's not their candidate, who they stand with, who they do not stand with. And it shouldn't be so. We all belong to one Nigeria. We're all working towards finding ourselves in a better country so that we won't have any need to japa. Okay? So let's understand that we're working towards the same goal, even though we don't see things the same way. Let's understand we're brothers and be more conscientious in the way we use words. Thank you.
All right. You want to add something to that?
Add something to the DS arrest, Femi Fani-Kayode or whatever he's been addressed as. I just want to make a passionate appeal to our security agency. They should know that they have children. This thing is not about the people that the candidate. It's about our children. It's about our nation. We want unity. We want peace. I appeal to the security agents to stand up to their duty without trying to favor anybody, without trying to say, oh, this is this. I don't know why non-state actors should be given a lot of attention. They have been given a lot of attention that is not deserving at all. Such persons should be kept behind the bars to show as a lesson to others that might want to come up with one kind of disturbance or the other. Please, I appeal. I am on my knees. We want peace in Nigeria. We want unity. And we really want to have that unity, and security operatives, the INEC people, the Nigerians, everybody needs to be honest with what we are doing.
All right, thank you. And also a quick reminder that you can also call in this program if you have any topic of interest you want to talk about. You can call in. The number is displayed in front of your television set. Quickly, let's go over to the next paper, which is the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Bank ignore a Supreme Court and reject old notes. And then we have riders under it, ask customers to go to CBN, filling station, supermarket, accept only new currency. And then Apes Bank issued 400 billion naira new notes, EFCC chair. Silenced by Buhari, CBN recipe for chaos. And then down there, elections, you are being watched, Buhari tells security agencies. Farmers' headers clashes, Sultan harps on dialogue. Kanuman asks for 10 million naira to grant divorce. 26,500 people petition Chrisland School over students' death. Wike Atiku feud, PDP suspends presidential rally in Rivers. Campaign activities forces import to drop by 30%. Southwest Labour Party members dump Obi declare support for Tinubu. All right, those are the stories trending on the front page of Daily Trust. Oster, let's start with you. I think we should look at the big story. A bank ignoring Supreme Court order, and they have refused to accept the old notes. Truthfully, if you go to so many supermarkets or even the markets, nobody wants to accept the old naira notes again. And we
know there was we watched the sitting by the members of House of Representatives. That was when they were at loss to how we're supposed to go about this changing of old notes for new notes. And they said, they interpreted the law for us and said the law says that even though you cannot accept the old notes, but our banks are still open to accept old notes as long as it's still in circulation. So we don't understand why banks are rejecting these.
They're telling people to take the money to CBN themselves.
So it goes to show that there must be a breach in communication somewhere between the CBN and these banks. And this is something that the executive needs to intervene on, because it's going to cause a lot of issues. We saw some people on social media saying that if the banks are not going to accept these old notes, they'll be using it amongst themselves.
Oh,
now
wow.
people will be circulating amongst themselves prior to when they make the new notes, readily available and in circulation. So, but these banks that do these things, isn't there a way? Because one of the things that still hold us down in this third world status we find ourselves in is that we don't have a way of checking people that match lines, that go beyond certain boundaries. Nobody is held accountable for whatever the person does. People get away with things. How can a court give a particular injunction on a particular issue, and then somebody contravenes that injunction and nothing happens to the person? It keeps happening. Certain individuals are invited by the court, all right, and these people, they don't honor this invitation and nothing happens to them. All right? Certain individuals contravene the instruction of the court and nothing happens to these individuals. And this has become more or less like a culture. This needs to stop. All right? We understood before now that banks are a more organized system and that they are more reliable. People can leave their money there. But that's actually, the contrary is the case now. Nobody understands what Ebefiele is doing. Nobody understands what the branch managers of banks are doing. We see videos where they stocked up our new notes, and yet the masses don't see the result of all these things. All right, so there's a need for us to start changing if we really want things to change in the country.
I just want to look at bank ignores Supreme Court rejects old notes. That's what we are talking about.
Yeah.
And I understand what you mean by why is this or that. Let me tell you, Nigeria is still a nation in transition, a country.
Okay.
Where things are done properly, when you are a lawyer and you know you have your onion and you cut it very well, when you say something, you stand by it. But what is happening today in our judiciary? So that is where the transformation needs to start from. When I bring a case to you in the court for you to define me, give you facts, you know that what I'm saying is very correct. But because I don't have the money to pay you the much as the other person, you give judgment based on who can pay better. And that is why we see this decay in the society. The moment we start standing on the truth, saying that this hammer the lawyer sued does not look at faces, you will see things changing. Then coming to what is happening, yes, it is a very good development. I believe that the CBN has a very good intention to make this country, to correct a lot of corruption practices going in the country. But then, are you corrupt free? The bank's manager, I am sure they must have meetings upon meetings, except there is something they are not telling us, the general public. I can't understand that CBN will just start doing something without holding meetings with the bank people. It's not possible. I am saying that these political actors that are playing hands and nothing happens. He said from the top, instruction is given, this and that. That is what we Nigerians need to stand and make our public officers to know that they are accountable to us. That will make us to know who to put there as our president, as our governor. Because if we have people who stands on the right thing from up, then that will go down to the bottom. And I tell you, nobody will give instruction from the court or give judgment and somebody will sit in his office to counter it. You won't do that because you know that the law is going to catch up on you. But since nothing happens, you say things, anything goes, yeah. So anybody goes and behave the way they want and say, we're Nigeria, we are the owners of Nigeria, we are this and that, whatever we say stands. That is our problem. So we need to go back to the drawing board to make sure that the right things are done properly and at the right time.
All right, having said that, let's quickly go over to the next paper. That's the Daily Independent. 2023 general election, Buhari to police. The nation, global community watching you. IGP again asked police to bar state quasi-security outfits from polls. And then we still have all there. Aviation fuel hits 800 naira per litre as airline operators cry out. Elections will hold in 240 polling units nationwide. This is coming from INEC. Nigerians hungry, angry, Sultan wants. And then we still have their cash crunch. MFL spotted in Aso Rock meets Buhari again. Federal government berates US and UK over frivolous travel adversaries. 2023 poll, we have no preferred candidate. This is coming from the US. Okay. Buhari to police, the nation and global community, they are watching you now. I mean, for them to take charge of the election and make sure that things go peacefully on the election day. Let's start from that.
Yeah. Well, I don't really understand why the IGP will call some security outfits that were set up by state governors to augment what the already strained security outfit of the federal government as quasi. When you say something is quasi, it means that it's somewhat fake, okay? And I don't really think that that should have been a good expression to use unless the Daily Independent was putting the IGP out of context. But for the IGP to reportedly call the security office of the state police as quasi, it's actually not, it's condescending, so to speak. The state police were set up, it's just like our state vigilante in Anambra State. Yeah, we know the role it's been playing, all right, to help curb some of these criminal activities in the state. And you can't start saying that they are quasi security outfit. I don't really agree with the IGP if that's the expression you use for it. Well, they are saying that these our local vigilante will not be part of the polls, securing the polling units and all. Well, let's see how that plays out, because we know that we don't have enough personnel in the police and in the army or the NSCDC and every other security, the sister security outfit that we have available to check excesses during this electoral process. And that was why the local vigilante was engaged in the first place. So if they are not going to be part of the electoral process, we wonder how we'll be able to go about it down there. So the IGP really needs to go back and maybe have some meetings with state governors and come to some resolutions with how this thing is going to work out, because they are not the ones that are going to be secured. They already have their security. The IGP has a permanent security outfit, or rather group that is securing him. The state governors, they have theirs. The people that are meant to be secured are you and I that will go out there to exercise our rights as citizens. All right, we are the ones that need to be secured, and we don't care whether the person that is going to secure us while we cast our votes is the local vigilante or the military. All we just need is to be secured for us to go there, do our thing, and get back home safely. So the IGP really needs to work together with the state police. And it still goes to show that there is a need for us to look at our constitution again, because the devolution of powers to the state governor, we know there are limitations when it comes to security. And these are some of the things that cause some of these limitations of the state governors in securing their states. If you say the state governor is the chief security officer of his state, and yet he doesn't have control over the security personnel in his state, like, it doesn't make sense to any right-thinking person. Thank you.
I quite agree. I quite agree with you, sir. And I am still appealing to the security operative, the Nigerian security operative, to value all the state governors have done in community policing. Is that not what it's being called?
Yes.
It's community policing. And these people, the police that is coming from any other side cannot know the people living in a particular place to cast their vote more than those people doing as community policing assistants. Therefore, whatever the IGP should be saying is what will be beneficial to all Nigerians.
True.
If he feels that these people are inadequate, they can put up a little meeting, training, for them to come to their standard. I'm not saying that they are not there at all in the scheme of things. Are they sure they really want this election to be free and fair? Heavens will hold anyone who took part in any way to make the will of this Nigeria not to come to pass. I pray that everybody should have this good conscience to do the right thing, because everybody is seeing it, everybody is suffering, everybody is going through pain. Therefore, anything I can do as an individual, as a citizen of this country, to make sure that this election goes very well, that will be my top priority. That will be the number one thing in my mind. I call on the public officers, people who we entrusted with our resources, please do not use it to fight us. Allow the right thing to be done.
Okay, the next paper is the Nation newspaper. Still talking about the Naira crisis. It has brought anger, says Sultan, and Monarch as president to take action. Banks reject old notes and shut out customers. All right, these are the stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper. We still have the Naira policy. Has Supreme Court ruling been complied with? That's the question. And we can see that in the inside page of the Nation newspaper if you want to know the details of that. Okay, Tinubu vows to translate Kolmani's oil to prosperity. Count on someone who can count. Okay, vote wisely, vote bad. All right, then down there we still see court to SPDC, reverse acquisition of Kidney Island, OML 11 irreversible. Let's quickly also take what is in the front page of the Punch newspaper. It's still about Naira deadline. Banks, fuel station rejects old note, ignores Supreme Court order. Buhari Mefele meet again as old note deposit hit over 2 trillion naira. POS operators, depositors panic, flood banking halls with old currency. Few marketers blame banks and court turn back lawyers with expired money. Now it's called expired money. All right, North will benefit greatly from Kolmani Oilfield. Tinubu share love on Val's Day, not HIV. This is coming from NACA. Atiku reverse rally cancelled to prevent death. PDP. Buhari launches security equipment, warns police against politics. AK-47 bearing pastor arrested. Policeman faces probe. Church apologizes. All right.
Well, let's look at this pastor that decided to trend by coming to church with AK-47 last Sunday, and some people were, cheering him that he has really shown that Christians are now ready to defend themselves while they are worshiping God. Well, he has seen that he lives in a secular state where the law has to take its order, and he's been invited by the police, and now the church is apologizing. Now, I don't understand some people who say they are shepherds of people's souls. I don't understand some of the things they do. We'll see on social media some who ask their congregations, members of their congregation to lie down while they walk on top of them. Some will say that while they are preaching, that their legs are not supposed to touch the ground, and then they climb on top of the shoulders of their... I mean, some of these excesses, some of these abuses, some of these things that they do in the name of helping people to understand better their relationship with God are not called for. They are uncalled for. We have more teething issues. If you really want to show your people that your congregation that they are protected, maybe because of the insecurity that is going on in the north, why don't you secure the borders of your church while your church members are in church? Why come in there with AK-47? I'm sure the BP of some persons must have gone up. You understand?
I wouldn't even be in that church.
Like personally, if I was the person in that congregation and the pastor was moving about, moving even amongst them with AK-47 slung over his shoulders, I would feel very uncomfortable. There's no explanation for it.
Sorry. I think I have to disagree with you at this point.
Okay.
If a shepherd goes to church with security ammunition or whatever that is called, what we should be telling ourselves, it shows there is no security in the country.
But of course we know that there is security
you understand?
in the country.
So there is no security in the country. Therefore, we should be talking that the security should be given to Christian, to every religion that we have here. We've seen in this country where people come into the church and kill a lot of people. Yeah. What have happened about that? Have anybody been arrested? So people, no.
Well, you don't go against the law in trying to prove point.
No,
You understand? It's not a good way of. Was the person now saying that his members should start?
Do you know if
transitioning?
that is licensed?
It's not now.
No.
That
Do
he
you
was
know-
invited and
Yes, he will explain
nobody
himself.
licenses the law. The law does not license in Nigeria. Nigerian law has not given any person license. Any person that is not a military person license to carry AK.
It's not true.
You understand?
They're good
The
to
highest
take- they're good to-
license you're given as somebody that's just a regular citizen is for pump action. That's the highest you can get. You understand? But as long as you're not a trained armed officer,
You don't know
understand, you
if that
cannot carry
pastor was
AK.
a soldier turned to pastor. So let's not go into that one.
Well, let's
Please.
not just go into that.
Go
But
into
what
that
I
one.
think what he said is still okay. No, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion.
That's how
Now,
I see
if
it.
you still want to secure your church, you can hire security personnel to, take care. Because you as a pastor, even if somebody invades your church and you are preaching, when will you even have time to remove the gun and start shooting? That's what we are saying.
It doesn't make a good
Well, let's
impression
not
on
go
them.
to that. But I have something. I have something I want to say. You know, there's a
Which one?
Yeah, about the Chrisland issue.
Okay, yes.
Yes,
the school.
where please, Chrisland is a place, the school I know. My children's school beside that school, Omoleye. My children's school in Omoleye, Ikeja. Chrisland is the other way, all that. I want to call the government to look into all these private schools.
Yeah.
Private schools. We heard that girl was electrocuted.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, please, let's know who is there. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
So if the news that is coming up that the girl went to buy something, so all those petty traders that are around selling, so the thing just got her. So we should, all these big school calling big names. When parents pay you this huge amount of money, please use it to put the necessary things down. And always be factual, always be truthful in whatever that happens. Telling her that the mother that the girl fainted, that she was sickly, it's like bringing more wound to the heart of that woman. I was listening to her explanation, her tears, and as a mother, I imagine the pain she was going through. Please, public schools should be well looked into. How they function, the things they put down, and how they manage their affairs. It's getting too much. If it's not this school today, tomorrow is the other school. So we will be afraid of taking our children to school.
All right. Finally, the Guardian newspaper is up next. Let's know who is here. Hello, good morning. Good morning. I've always said that if you want to call us, please reduce the volume on your television set so that when you're talking, we'll hear you very well. The Guardian newspaper is up next. Again, Buhari meets Emefiele, keeps mum on Naira swap. And then we still have riders there. CBN embraces e-Naira, internet banking as alternatives to cash. Epes Bank loses 15 billion Naira to hoarding, explains how to exchange old notes. BDC's a profit from Naira scarcity, lower exchange rate for cash transaction. Ibazu worried about cash scarcity on traders in Abia. Commissioner says Niger governor orders police to arrest anyone rejecting old notes. Okay, and then still on the story of the man, the pastor with the gun, unloaded gun, a church restate commitment to peace. All right, Valentine's Day, Google trend shows Nigeria leads in search for love in 2023. Oh, wow. And then Ganduje, Mutak versus ranching, as Sultan decries politicization of farmer header clashes. And that picture in front of the Guardian newspaper, you can see people frustrated in front of ATM machines of a particular bank, though we didn't say the name of the bank. Okay, these are the stories we have here. And CSO's match for removal of Bawa as EFCC chairman. So quickly, we don't have time again.
Yeah, I would like to talk about this transition, this cashless Nigeria that we want to invite now with all the difficulties that we're experiencing in the transition. I want to explain to Nigerians that there's a need for us to be malleable to change. All right, we've already seen the realities, stark realities in front of us that we cannot have cash. We cannot use cash as we used to use them before. Let's adjust to the change. Let's start adjusting. I've seen persons selling oranges, selling sachet water. They now carry their account numbers on their body just for them to, do business. So there's the need for us to start making this adjustment. If you don't feel doing bank transfers are safe, why don't you resort to getting all these free POS that are available? Let's start making these adjustments. Let's not just, die with the transition. Let's adjust. We are Nigerians who can survive anything. Let's try and survive this one too.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. What I want to say is about Guje saying about ranching. Yeah, ranching is the only thing that we need to, get in place to stop these header farmers challenges and killings.
Yes.
So if that can be highly looked into and carried out, that will be very, very good. And for the Google, they say Valentine trends. Well, it shows that our youth are very, very active. They are active because they need soulmates. They need to be happy. Everybody wants to feel love. Everybody wants to feel appreciated, because emotion is something that, if not well handled, it makes you go into depression. So it's good, but my only advice to the youth is that you have to be positive in looking for that love. It's not just love the way you look at it. Look for love that is positive, that will make you to be very, very developmental in the things you are doing. Thank you.
All right, I want to say a very big thank you to both of you. And still from NACA that, today is Valentine's Day. It's time to show love, not to share HIV. That's what they said. Yeah. Okay, want to say a very big thank you to you, Joy Mbachi, for joining us on Press Review this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Okay, and also to you, Oster Eze, thank you for being part of the Press Review.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And I must compliment you guys for, coming with white-colored clothes and red, a touch of red. I mean, it shows that we are all in the spirit of celebrating love today. Yeah. Well, that's it on Press Review this morning. Thank you so much for being part of it. My name is Chidima Oranwa. We'll take a short break, but we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.